How to create a Solana NFT with IPFS. Using Pinata and Metaplex. In case you slept through all of 2021, NFTs, non-fungible tokens, are hot. They have evolved from random JPEGs to self-contained applications, access tokens, communities, and more. With increased creativity and expanding support across multiple blockchains, NFTs don't look to be going away anytime soon. While Ethereum might be the first blockchain one thinks of when talking about NFTs, there are plenty of other chains out there to consider. I previously wrote about creating NFTs on the Flow blockchain, but an increasingly popular choice is Solana. Solana recently overtook Ethereum in total transaction volume in November of 2021, and Rarity Sniper, a tool for creating rarity rankings on NFT collections, moved to support Solana in 2021 after initially supporting Ethereum only. With that as our background, let's take a look at how to create an NFT collection on Solana using Pinata and IPFS. This is an especially interesting tutorial because Solana has been closely linked to Arweave, but many projects prefer IPFS for its rapid content access and reliability. Metaplex, a project built to make creating NFT projects on Solana easier, has IPFS support baked in, and this includes the ability to use Pinata to store content and serve that content through a dedicated IPFS gateway. Setting up the development environment. To begin, make sure you sign up for a Pinata account. You can test with a free account, but for a mainnet NFT launch, you may want to consider the paid plan with a dedicated IPFS gateway. Once you signed up for an account, you really just need to make sure you have the following installed. Each is linked to the installed instructions if you need to install them. Node.js. Version 16.13.0 or newer is recommended. Git. Version 2.32.0 or newer. Yarn. Version the 22nd of January 2017 or newer. TS Node. Version 10.4.0 or newer. Solana Client. For what it's worth, we will be following much of the instructions on Metaplex's website, with some modifications that allow us to upload content to IPFS through Pinata. Preparing the assets. This tutorial is not going to go through the process of generating assets for your NFT project. That's a totally separate endeavor that has to happen before the contract can be deployed to Solana. So, assuming you have the art created, we'll walk through how to prep this for upload to IPFS through Metaplex. The first step is to create a folder for your NFT project assets. From the command line, that will look like this. Dear NFT project. Inside that folder, create another folder called Assets. In the Assets folder, you will add all of your images. It's important that each of your images be labeled in a base 0 index format. That means the first image would be 0.ping, and the second would be 1.ping, and so on. Once your images are in the folder, you will need to create the metadata for these images. If you have any experience with Ethereum NFT metadata, you'll feel right at home with Solana NFT metadata. The structure is nearly identical. Let's take a look at a basic JSON metadata file structure for NFTs on Solana. .name, number 0001. .symbol, NB. Description, collection of 10 numbers on the blockchain. This is the number 1/10. Image, 0.ping. Attributes, trait underscore type, layer 1, value, 0. Trait underscore type, layer 2, value, 0. Trait underscore type, layer 3, value. Just like with the Ethereum metadata standard, the Solana metadata standard has a name, image, and description. Additionally, you can include attributes, just like with ETH, a symbol, and collection details. In Ethereum projects, the token symbol is generally assigned at contract deployment and not in the metadata. Another difference is the properties portion of the Solana metadata. This is required and it allows you to include an array of files for your NFTs. You have to have at least one file in that array which points to the same asset as the image property, but you can include other files that make up your entire NFT. This is a really interesting concept that should be explored further, but for the sake of this post, we will only be operating with single asset NFTs. If you'd like to explore the Solana NFT metadata standard further, you can do so here. Okay, so we know we have images in the folder. We know those images need to be named in a specific way, and we know that we need JSON metadata files. How are we now going to get those JSON files created and added to the assets folder? You could do this manually, but with a 10,000 NFT project, that would be nearly impossible. Let's write a script to create the metadata files. From your command line, make sure you are in the NFT project folder. We will create a new file called metadata generator.js. By running this command, touch metadata generator.js. In your code editor, open that new file. It's empty, but we'll fill it in now. We need to loop through all of the images in our assets folder and create a unique JSON file for each. We need to name and save that JSON file in the same assets folder. To do this, we will make use of the node.js fs, which is built into node.js. In your metadata generator.js file, add this code: const fs equals require fs, const image dir equals fs.readasync / assets image dir dot for each image equals greater than const metadata equals name image $image dot split 0, description an image in the NFT collection symbol your NFT collection short. You will, of course, customize this for your project. Give your images different names, add the attributes array, etc. This is a very basic example, but it'll get you going. To run your script and generate the metadata, you should run this command from the root your project folder, node metadata generator.js. When the script is finished, you'll have an assets folder that has images and JSON files together. It should look like this. Okay, we have our assets ready to go. Time to jump into using Metaplex to get ourselves going with Solana. Using Metaplex. Metaplex is a tool that makes launching an NFT project on Solana much easier. Rather than having to write your own smart contract like you would have to do with Ethereum, Metaplex has pre-written contracts that projects can plug into. To make this work, Metaplex has to be able to access the files associated with the NFTs, then it needs to be able to upload those files and associated them with each token to be minted. Metaplex has support for IPFS through a few services, but we'll be focusing on using Pinata. We will be following the standard Metaplex Candy Machine guide found here. The first step is going to be to clone Metaplex. Run the following command in your terminal: git clone github.com/metaplex. We are cloning the directory into the home directory so that we don't have to remember where the project was cloned. Inside the new Metaplex repo is code to support the JavaScript CLI we will be making use of. So, we need to install dependencies for that CLI code. Yarn install cwd/metaplex/j/. Now, let's make sure the install worked. Remember, we installed ts node. We're going to use that now to run a command for the Metaplex CLI. ts node/metaplex/packages/cli/src/candymachine v2 cli.ts version. This should print out a version if everything was installed properly. Now, we need to make sure the Solana CLI is working. Run this command to get the version number, Solana version. If that works, you're good to go. If not, double check that you have installed the Solana CLI toolkit. Next, we're going to use that CLI to create DivNet wallet. The Solana DivNet is where we can experiment without fear of incurring any real financial impact. Run this command to create your new DivNet wallet and store the keys. Solana keygen new outfile /config/solana/divnet.json. Now, we can set the default key pair for our Solana CLI interactions. Solana config set key pair /config/solana/divnet.json. Finally, let's let the CLI know that we intend to interact with the divnet. Solana config set URL api.devnet.solana.com. To confirm this all worked as expected, we can fetch the configuration for Solana like this: Solana config get. This should print out the configuration information. So, you're ready to get airdropped some SOL. This is, of course, Divnet SOL, but it's still necessary to interact with the Divnet. Run this command: Solana airdrop 2. When that is complete, you can run this command to verify your Divnet wallet has the SOL. Solana balance. You should see that your Divnet wallet has 2 SOL. With all of the initial Solana and Metaplex installation and configuration done, we will move on to configuring our NFT drop. Drop configuration. This is the most important part of the entire drop, so you should read about it in full here. Metaplex uses a tool called Candy Machine for NFT drops like this, and it's important to make sure your project is configured properly. In the root of your project, create a JSON file called config.json. Then, enter a configuration like this: .price 0.05, number 100, gatekeeper null, SOL treasury account, your Divnet wallet address. .SPA token account null, SPA token null, Go live date, the 1st of January 2022 zip, the This may feel like a lot, but this is actually just the minimum configuration required. There's a lot more you can add. Don't worry, though. We're keeping it simple. You only need to change 5 things in this file. The first change is to set the storage property to point to Pinata. Then, you need to decide if you are going to use a Pinata dedicated gateway or not. Doing so will give you and anyone who loads your NFTs the best possible performance. But, while recommended, it's not required. If you do decide to get a dedicated gateway, you'll need to upgrade to a paid plan in Pinata. Next, you need to get a JWT for Pinata API access. To do so, click the drop-down menu in the top right, click API keys, then generate a new API key. You can either select specific endpoints the key should have access to pin file twats, or you can make it an admin key which has full access. This is up to your security preferences, but the key must have access to pin file twats. You can read more about scoped API keys here. When you've created your key, a modal will display your API key, API secret, and your JWT. We only need the JWT, so copy that and paste it into the Pinata JWT configuration file properties value. If you created a dedicated gateway, you can paste in your dedicated gateway's URL in the Pinata gateway section of the config file. If you did not upgrade and do not have a dedicated gateway, you should update that property to look like this. Pinata gateway, null. Finally, you just need to set the number of items in your NFT collection for the number property and the price and sold for the price property. That's all you need. Now, there's a lot more you can do, but I want to point out something that a lot of projects probably want to do, and that's hide the NFT assets until after a reveal date. This is possible with Metaplex and Candy Machine with hidden settings. You can read about that here. We won't be doing that in this tutorial. The NFT project in this tutorial will represent a mint with immediate reveal. The final thing you'll want to change in the config file is the Sol Treasury account. This should probably point to your DivNet wallet address, but it can be any Solana wallet address. To get your DivNet wallet address, you can run this in the command line. Solana address. We're about ready to upload some assets and create our NFT contract. Uploading to Pinata and Solana. We finished all the prep work. It's time to upload. Fortunately, this is really simple. In the root of the project directory, run this command in the command line. tsnode/metaplex/j/packages/cli/src/candy machine v2cli.ts upload /e-divnet/k/.config/solana/divnet.json/ cpconfig.json/ cnft project / assets. This command will take your config file, parse it so that Metaplex knows how to upload your files and how to get the NFT mint info onto Solana. You'll see in your command line each upload of your asset, folders metadata, and your asset, folders images. Depending on how many files you are uploading, this process could take a long time. So crack your favorite cold beverage and sit back and relax. When the process is done, you'll need to do one more thing. You'll need to verify the upload. This helps you know if everything is ready to go and if your NFTs can be minted. You just need to run this command. tsnode/metaplex/j/packages/cli/src/candy machine v2cli.ts verify _upload /e-divnet /k/.config/solana/divnet.json cnft project. If all goes well, you should see a message that includes ready to deploy. This means your project is ready to go. If you want to confirm things, you can find the .cache folder in your NFT project directory. Open that up, and you'll see a JSON file with information about your upload. The program.candy_machine property will have an ID that you can look up on the Solana DivNet Explorer here. Just make sure to set your network to DivNet. Your NFT drop is ready for minting. But what do we do now? You probably want to create a website to allow for minting. Fortunately, the Metaplex codebase has us covered. Creating a minting app. Remember, we cloned the full repository from Metaplex. We cloned that into our home directory. So, From your command line, let's change to our home directory and into the Metaplex project, directly into the sample React app. cd/metaplex/j/packages/candy machine UI. You'll need to install the dependencies like this. Yarn install. Then, open the project in your code editor. You'll see a M file in that folder. You should update it to look like this. React_app_candy_machine_ID equals your candy machine ID. Remember, we used the candy machine ID to look up our project on the Solana Explorer. We are going to paste that same ID where it says your candy machine ID. Now, you can run the app with yarn start. When the app load, you should see you will be able to choose a Solana wallet to connect with. Regardless of which wallet you choose, you'll need to make sure it has some DivNet Sol in it. Remember when we airdropped ourselves some DivNet Sol? We can also do that with another address. Connect your wallet, make sure you're on DivNet, then copy the wallet address. From the command line run Solana airdrop to your _ address. Once this is complete, you should have Sol in your browser-based wallet and can now mint one of your new NFTs. To do so, just click the mint button. You'll need to confirm the transaction. When you do so, the minting process should only take a few seconds. Once it's complete, your new NFT should show up in your wallet's NFT collection. The image you see of your NFT is being loaded from Pinata. Depending on if you provided a dedicated gateway URL in your config file, the NFT is loading through your custom gateway or a public IPFS gateway. Note, if you provided a dedicated gateway URL in the config, your NFT asset will not only load quicker but will be cached so that all subsequent loads are instant. You can see this in the example below using Phantom Wallet. The two NFTs that are stuck loading are using a public IPFS gateway. The two that load almost instantly are loaded through a dedicated gateway. When viewing your NFTs on Solana NFT marketplaces, the assets will load through the IPFS gateway as well. This allows people to experience the content in the way it was designed to be experienced. Wrapping up, the benefits of using IPFS for the storage of NFT assets are well documented. IPFS offers quick retrieval, especially when using a Pinata dedicated gateway. IPFS offers content addressability, and IPFS is portable. Ownership of NFTs can transfer in both the token sense and the media sense. However, it has not always been easy to use IPFS with Solana NFT projects. Hopefully, this tutorial helps change that. Hopefully, it can lead to more creative projects. Happy pinning, and happy drop days.